The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, January 2, force Mariah to relive one of the most painful times of her life, as Jordan and Ian finally get one with what they came to Geno City to do. What did they come to Geno City to do? Mariah wasn't always Sharon's beloved daughter. In fact, she was stolen from Sharon at birth. Sharon only thought she'd given birth to Cassie. She didn't know about Mariah. Instead, Mariah grew up in a cult, thinking Sharon's midwife was her mother and thinking of the cult's leader, Ian, as her father figure. That kind of went sideways when Ian drugged Mariah and tried to marry her for her money. Mariah still hasn't really recovered. This is why the return of Ian into her life is the last thing she needs for 2025. Mariah is always on the alert for Ian, though she had no way of knowing that's the sweet guy Tessa was chatting with the other day. But Mariah really has no reason to be looking out for Jordan. Mariah knows what Claire's aunt did to the Newmans, but unlike Cassie, Mariah isn't a Newman. So when Jordan comes for her, presumably in that oh-so-subtle blonde wig and floppy hat, Mariah will be in immediate danger, and never know it until it's too late. Cassie became a Newman because Nick fell in love with Sharon's little girl, adopted her, and raised her as his own until the day she died. Nick is fond of Mariah, but she isn't his daughter the way Cassie was. However, that doesn't mean Nick won't protect Mariah, Tessa, and Aria. When it comes to Jordan and Ian, Nick may be Mariah's last hope. Hey everyone, welcome back to Radiant Serum. I'm Aubrey, and I hope your day is shining bright. Thank you for joining me. Let's jump right into today's video. Cole had an interesting conversation with Victor on The Young and the Restless. Victor finally agreed with Cole about his daughter's relationship with her ex, but she's a grown woman. What can he do? So he tried to get chummy with Cole during the holiday season. Then, something ominous came from Cole's mouth. Victor put on a good face for Christmas Day. He had a friendly conversation with Cole. Though the two have gotten along, the patriarch doesn't warm up to Cole's relationship with Victoria. Victor was feeling the Christmas spirit. He admitted that he would be nice to anyone who walked through his front door, but only during the holiday season. Does that mean he's willing to be nice to Jack, even if it's just for one day? Their chat took a turn when Cole said he was willing to die for his family. The Y&R writers are obviously foreshadowing something. Cole could be the one who ends up at the hands of crazy Aunt Jordan and Ian Ward. Victor could emerge as the hero. He could save his family yet again from Ian and Jordan. Meanwhile, Cole could die after saving Claire's life. The gruesome twosome isn't done with causing havoc for the residents of Geno City. They still have the Newmans at the top of their hit list, but they're willing to knock anyone else down in their inner circle. Tessa is the next victim who gets drugged. Her good feelings for Ian will quickly fade after she learns what he did to her on New Year's Eve. There's an obvious point behind Victor's conversation with Cole. This shows that he finally accepts Cole, who could end up dying as a hero. By the time Victor makes peace with him, it could be too late. The Young and the Restless celebrated 2025 coming early on the Monday, December 30 episode, as they counted down to midnight and proceeded to kiss, or, in some folks' case, get kidnapped in the opening moments of the new year. What are we hoping to see in the coming 12 months? Some hoping and wishing for January and beyond. As the clock counted down the seconds to midnight, there were toasts, kisses, and a whole lot of shady drama. Poor Mariah's whole world went sideways when she got to society to find Tessa being held by Ian Ward. We can only imagine what's going on through her head. And to make things worse, poor Sharon was snatched by evil Aunt Jordan. Who knows what the future has in store for her? Will Sharon be able to defeat her kidnapper? Will Mariah be able to pry Tessa out of Ian's arms? There are so many questions, so many worries, and so much drama to come. We hope those stories aren't the only ones on the canvas for January. Here are a few others we'd like to see in 2025 as well. Just once. Just one time, please. It doesn't even have to be anything big. A chess game, a boxing match. The IRS audits him and finds out he's been cheating on his taxes since the 1980s. One of his kids doesn't come running the minute he snaps his fingers. Nikki says, "No, I'll do it my way, thanks." Jack makes a success out of Glissade despite Victor's best efforts. Honestly, at this point, we just want to see that smirk wiped off his face by anything or anyone. Could Phyllis stop yelling? Just once. Just one time, please. Like maybe when she's in a public place. Can she not force everyone in the tri-state area to hear what she's upset about now? Could she use her indoor voice when saying hello to her children? Her grandchildren? Really, she'll appreciate it in the long run. She doesn't want to kick off the new year with a sore throat, does she? Oh, and while she's being quiet, can she maybe try and listen for a change? Michael and Lauren genuinely love and care about her. The things they have to tell her are for Phyllis' own good. She'll be grateful. Someday. Can Nicholas remember that he has a son? How is Christian doing? Yes, he has another son, Noah, but Noah is in Paris with Ali, so let's assume he's good. On the other hand, can Adam give Connor some space to breathe? Not come running every time the kid isn't filled with joy and delight? Let Connor stand on his own 2 feet for a change. It'll be good for him, really, and it will keep Adam away from Chelsea, which will be good for Adam. For the Thursday, January 2 episode of The Young and the Restless, spoilers photos showed Jack and Diane having a ball at the jazz club, while the scene at Society gets more and more tense by the minute. The jazz club is the place to be this New Year's Eve, and the vibe is immaculate. Jack and Diane clink glasses as they ring in 2025. They're on top of the world, and their family is finally back intact. Oh yes, life is good, very good, for now at least. They aren't the only ones who are all smiles. Christine and Danny are beaming too. They aren't just ringing in the new year, but a new chapter in their lives. The hot couple can't wait for their future. Lauren and Michael are pretty excited as well. Will Diane put a damper on Michael's night somehow? While sitting at the bar sharing a drink, things start looking a bit tense between them. Meanwhile, over at Society, tensions rise as Nick, Faith, Mariah, and Tessa wait on Sharon. The later it gets, the more they begin to panic. Poor Sharon is just getting back in her right mind, and the feeling of impending doom has them all on edge. Young and Restless spoilers for Monday, December 30. In Monday's recap, as New Year's Eve festivities get underway, Maria is shocked to find Tessa in Spoiler's arms, plus Sharon is attacked. Unafraid of ending up with egg on their faces when they are proven wrong, Victor and Nikki question Nick's support of Sharon. Ian and Jordan make their favorite kind of move, the dangerous kind. Will it yield the results the villains are hoping for? Danny races home to surprise Christine on New Year's Eve. Will he once again put a rock on her finger? Backstage preview. Geno City welcomes the new year in a very special way. My and our Restless rant, an Ian vs. Victor rematch takes shape, plus Tessa and Spoiler are in big trouble. Young and Restless spoilers for Tuesday, December 31. In a repeat of the episode that aired on November 8, Victor brings Nikki home to the new and improved Newman ranch. At last, Devin and Abby are able to finalize their wedding plans. In a repeat of the episode that aired on April 6, 2006, Sharon confronts Phyllis about her affair with Nick, aka the spark that lit the fire that has fueled their epic feud for years. As if to prove that some things never change, Jack deals with a crisis at Jebat. Victoria keeps a secret from then-significant other Brad. Young and Restless spoilers for Thursday, January 2. Nick makes a shocking discovery, perhaps one that could clear Sharon's name for good. Jordan targets a new victim. Could it be spoilers turn in the crosshairs? Maria is haunted by her past. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that it will be the Ian part of her past. Young and Restless spoilers for Friday, January 3. Queuing up one of his favorite numbers, Victor threatens Ian. No funny glasses for these two. Kyle and Claire celebrate the new year in style. Phyllis shares the secret with Daniel, which does seem a lot safer than anyone sharing a secret with Phyllis. We've said it before, we'll say it again. The Young and the Restless needs some have-nots, and it needs them badly. Every character on the show is either a gazillionaire or so closely tied to one that they could get a conglomerate bankrolled as easily as we could borrow a $5 from a coworker. This is a problem on two levels. First, it brings the stakes down as low as the pavement. We don't give a bleep who's CEO of what, because at the end of the day, they're all still richer than Croesus. Oh no, your mom fired you from your executive position? That's going to change literally nothing about your life. You still won't have to worry about buying groceries or paying the rent. Heck, you won't even have to look at the help wanted ads, because you've got as much moolah as Montgomery Burns. Second, Young and Restless widespread affluence leaves us with no one to whom we can relate. These people just bounce from one lofty position to the next, without ever changing their business suits or enrolling in SERUM. They don't even have to be qualified. Hey Diane, you're an interior designer, wanna be CEO of a cosmetics company instead. Chance old boy, never mind that you have always been in law enforcement. You can be vice president in charge of something too. Nate, my man, your career as a surgeon makes you the perfect candidate to swim with the corporate sharks. You could argue that, say, Tessa has a normal job like all of us do. But she and Mariah are close with Devin and Abby, so anytime the singer wants, she can just say, "How's about you sign me to a lucrative record deal and send me on tour?" Most of us don't have that option. Daniel and the late Heather fretted about their career prospects for a hot minute, but to what end? They never struggled to pay the bills at their amazing apartment and jetted back and forth to Portugal like tickets were the price of bus fare. The evil engulfs yet another New Year's Eve of Genoa City. The Young and the Restless spoilers are kicking off 2025 with iron-driven drama. He's playing dirty tricks on Tessa while Jordan takes Sharon into her clutches. Unfortunately, all attention may zero in on Phyllis, for she's Sharon's biggest foe in the town. Finally, it's time to put the veil off, Damien. Catch all the weekly Y and R spoilers one last time in 2024. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Ian Ward spikes Tessa Porter's drink, leaving her gasping for air. Maria Copeland walks in on the horrifying scene, only to get startled by seeing the old wicked man once again. In the meantime, Sharon Newman faces a nightmare of her own when Jordan chloroforms her. Yep, she gets kidnapped. Subsequently, Nick Newman smells trouble the moment Sharon goes MIA. Will he be able to crack the case in time? Elsewhere in the Jazz Lounge, Danny Romalotti surprises Christine Blair by showing up despite being stuck in a Canadian snowstorm. They enjoy the merry time, unlike Phyllis, who's throwing shade at almost everyone. Additionally, she takes French leave before the countdown begins. That's one bad move because her absence might make her the prime suspect in Sharon's abduction. Next, Phyllis shocks Daniel Romalotti Jr. with a secret, making him even more suspicious of her. Will Phyllis be able to defend herself? Victor fights back. Damien calls out Nate's facade. Across Genoa City, Kyle Abbott and Claire Newman come together post-midnight, dreaming of brighter days in 2025. Meanwhile, Victor Newman learns about Ian's return and braces himself for a face-off with his old enemy. The Newman patriarch throws threats like confetti and warns Ian to leave before he bites the dust. Will Ian pay heed to Victor's advice? Probably not. Now let's give you a little heads up regarding the telecast. Y and R will air a repeat on December 31 and another encore episode on January 01. Back to spoilers, Billy Abbott interrogates Phyllis over Sharon's disappearance. However, Phyllis swears she's being used as a scapegoat. The Young and the Restless spoilers confirm that Kyle and Claire will not get to celebrate NYE together. It turns out that Harrison has a cold, and Kyle will be on daddy duty all night. The father and son duo will ring in the new year together as they spend the evening playing video games. Meanwhile, Claire Grace Newman will take the opportunity to raise a NYE toast with her family at the Newman Ranch. However, Kyle and Claire will get together after the NYE countdown to have a little celebration of their own. The Young and the Restless spoilers tease that the private party for two will be really stylish, so Claire and Kyle's fans can look forward to some really nice moments between the couple. They are getting closer and closer by the second, and their bond is truly deepening. So they better enjoy all the great moments together while they last, because trouble is only at arm's length. My and our spoilers tease that Ian Ward and Aunt Jordan are itching to create some lasting damage for the Newmans and the Abbotts. Moreover, Jordan has a very personal axe to grind with Claire, so we are pretty sure her name is quite high up on Jordan's hit list. In the upcoming episodes, we may very well see Ian and Jordan training their target on Claire. If that happens, Kyle will most definitely find himself stuck in some very tight spots. Will he manage to keep Claire safe from Jordan's vengeful clutches? Or will the new couple become prey to Ian and Jordan's spiteful schemes? The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 2 weeks are here. Fans can expect Phyllis Summers to become a criminal suspect. Victor Newman faces off with Ian Ward. Plus, what is Jordan going to do with Sharon Newman? Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the next 2 weeks. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Tessa Porter's fate. Ye and our spoilers for the week of December 30 reveal that it will begin with Ian drugging Tessa. When Tessa comes out of society unable to breathe and lightheaded, Ian is right there to catch her. When Mariah Copeland shows up at society, Tessa is cradled in Ian's arms. This will cause Mariah to be haunted by her past later in the week. However, don't expect Ian to get arrested. Until it can be proven he drugged Tessa, the police might say he saved her life. This is exactly what Ian wants as he continues forcing Jordan's hand. As for Tessa's fate, she likely survives. In fact, Tessa and Mariah could have a marriage conflict over Ian. My and our spoilers, Jordan Howard's twisted plan. Over with Jordan, she will use chloroform on Sharon. Last week, I speculated that Jordan and Ian somehow planted a bug in Sharon's home. At the time, I believed it was the mysterious Christmas ornament that Sharon couldn't recall owning. This still could be true, and it would explain how Jordan knew that Sharon was going to society that night at that particular time, including the fact that she would be driving alone. As for Jordan's plan, that remains to be seen. Could Jordan somehow force Sharon to commit crimes? Will Jordan and Ian frame Sharon for drugging Tessa? Maybe there is another violent crime, one that Sharon is accused of. The Young and the Restless spoilers, week of December 30, 2024. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of December 30 reveal that Danny Romalotti returns to Genoa City just in time to reunite with Christine Blair on New Year's Eve. Christine will be surprised as Danny was snowbound in Canada. Speaking of Christine, she has to deal with Phyllis taunting. Despite Phyllis' best efforts to get under Christine's skin, she will only end up looking foolish. Phyllis is so miserable on New Year's Eve that even Daniel Romalotti Jr. and Summer Newman get sick of it. So Phyllis leaves the party early. However, that means Phyllis will also have no alibi for the crimes committed on New Year's Eve. Kyle Abbott couldn't make the New Year Eve's party due to Harrison Abbott being sick. However, at some point, Kyle makes it up to Claire Grace Newman. Also, Victor finds out that Ian is back in Genoa City. This will lead to Victor issuing a threat to Ian. During the week of January 6, 2025, Phyllis might be accused of making Sharon disappear. Phyllis will claim her innocence, but everyone in town knows that she threatened to make Sharon pay, no matter the cost. So a lot of people could accuse Phyllis of doing something terrible to Sharon. Nathan Owens will make his debut on January 8, 2025. There is word that Owens might be playing Nate Hastings' half-brother Damien. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal there are 3 must-see moments next week. From December 30 to January 3, 2025, be on the lookout for these 3 storylines. Maria Copeland is horrified to see Tessa Porter with Ian Ward. Jordan makes Sharon Newman disappear on New Year's Eve. Meanwhile, Phyllis Summers shares a secret with Daniel Romalotti Jr. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up next week in the CBS soap opera. My&R spoilers reveal that one must-see moment centers on Mariah. Fans watched in horror as Ian drugged Tessa's drink at work. Later, Tessa started getting dizzy and not walking right. By the time everyone was cheering over the new year, Tessa stumbled out of society and right into Ian's arms. My&R spoilers, Maria Copeland mortified. By the time Maria showed up, Tessa was only semi-conscious and Ian was holding an inhaler to the young woman's mouth. Mariah knows who Ian is, even though it's been years. Of course, Ian will likely claim he was just there to offer medical assistance. Ian might have even called 911, knowing that he will come across looking like a saint to those who don't know him. Plus, since Ian has been released from prison, until he is busted doing something wrong, there's nothing the police can do. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the week of December 30 reveal that another must-see moment revolves around Sharon. Out of the blue, Sharon decided to celebrate with her loved ones at Society. However, Faith Newman and Nick Newman were stopping by the Newman Ranch first. So Sharon went to Society alone, and that's exactly when Jordan struck. Next week, fans will also see Phyllis share a secret with Daniel. Now, could Phyllis' hatred for Sharon run so deep that she doesn't care about finding the real killer? Could Phyllis find out that Sharon really is innocent, but plan to eliminate her anyway? Is it possible that Phyllis might work with Ian to go after Sharon? Ian is pretty manipulative and Phyllis is desperate, so stay tuned. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of December 30, 2024? What are your predictions for Sharon, Phyllis, Jordan, Ian, and Daniel? What does the future hold for Mariah, Tessa, Faith, Nick, and the rest of the Geno City residents? The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Ian Ward drugged Tessa Porter. When Maria Copeland arrived at Society, she found a barely conscious Tessa in supervillain Ian's arms. While Ian paints himself as a hero, Jordan targets Sharon Newman. So, what happens now that Maria has come face-to-face with Ian? Keep reading and let's talk about what could happen next with this storyline. My&R spoilers reveal that Tessa was working at Society on New Year's Eve. It was packed, and while Tessa was busy, Ian drugged her drink. Soon after, Tessa told Abby Winters and Devin Winters that she hadn't eaten and was feeling lightheaded. Abby told Tessa to go ahead and get a snack. However, when Tessa left, Abby seemed to wonder if it was more than just hunger. Instead of feeling better, Tessa started to feel worse. Clearly disoriented and not thinking clearly, Tessa stumbled outside the restaurant away from everyone. When Tessa came out of Society, Ian was right there waiting. Tessa mentioned she couldn't breathe and collapsed into Ian's arms. While Ian was putting an inhaler to Tessa's mouth, Sharon Newman was being attacked by Jordan. The Young and the Restless spoilers reveal that Maria went to Society to meet Tessa, Sharon, Faith Newman, and Nick Newman for New Year's Eve. Sharon decided to take her own car, which is how Jordan got lucky enough to strike. As Maria walked up to Society, she noticed Tessa crumpled next to an older man. As Maria looked closer, she must know that the man is none other than Ian Ward. Ian will claim that he didn't do anything to Tessa as he was sitting outside waiting for a table to be available. Ian will also claim that he helped save Tessa as he just happened to have an inhaler on him. Ian might also say he didn't run away when confronted. He stayed with Tessa until the ambulance came. Even though everyone will be on edge, Ian will claim he's been released from prison and is reformed. Ian even has his preaching to inmates gig. While this is just a cover, Chance Chancellor could look into things. Chance might say that Ian is legitimately released from prison and supposedly reformed. Chance might also say that unless Ian actually does something wrong, then there's nothing he can do. After Tessa recovers, Mariah could warn her about Ian. However, Ian is pretty clever and manipulative. Mariah could be divided, especially if Tessa starts looking at Ian aka Warren Masters as her hero. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, January 2, 2025 are here. In the next new episode, fans can expect Jordan to whisk Sharon Newman after Tessa Porter's drugging. Next on The Young and the Restless. Meanwhile, Mariah Copeland struggles with memories from her past. Nick Newman makes a shocking discovery. Keep reading and let's talk about what is coming up in the next episode of the CBS soap opera. My and our spoilers reveal there is no new episode on Tuesday, December 31, and Wednesday, January 1, 2025. So enjoy the new year, and a new episode will air on Thursday, January 2, 2025. On Thursday, January 2, Jordan will whisk Sharon away after chloroforming her. Sharon was all set to enjoy celebrating New Year's Eve with her family at Society. Sharon was even feeling comfortable with going out in public. However, Jordan knew exactly where Sharon would be and when. Not too long ago, I wrote about how that mysterious angel ornament Sharon didn't remember could be a bug by Jordan and Ian Ward. I still think that's true, and it would explain how Jordan and Ian even knew Sharon planned on being Society right before midnight. After all, Sharon attending wasn't planned. It was a last-minute decision. So how else would Jordan and Ian knew exactly where Sharon was going to be? The Young and the Restless spoilers for Thursday, January 2 reveal that Mariah will be haunted by her past. Clearly, when Mariah sees an ill Tessa Porter in Ian's arms, she will be petrified. It's not like Mariah can grab Tessa and run. At the same time, Mariah might be frozen with fear and unable to do anything. Mariah's time with Ian was extremely traumatizing, and now she has a wife and a daughter of her own, which raises the stakes. On Thursday, January 2, fans can also expect Nick to make a shocking discovery. After all the toasts and cheering dissipate, Nick will realize that Sharon never arrived. However, when Nick goes out to the parking lot, will Sharon's car still be there? Perhaps Nick finds Sharon's keys on the ground by her SUV. That would certainly indicate that something happened to Sharon. Not to mention, once Sharon wakes up, Jordan and Ian might force her to commit more crimes. So this story might be far from. The Young and the Restless spoilers tease that with Ashley Abbott back in Genoa City, fans are wondering what is next for the blonde chemist. She recently completed rehab for a sudden bout of did check. She has washed Tucker McCall out of her hair check. She witnessed her daughter get married check. Really, what is next on Ashley's bingo card? Would you believe rekindling the great love of her life? The Young and the Restless spoilers. Ashley Newman and Victor Newman were tremendous. Victor Newman is Ashley's greatest love story. They share a daughter together, Abby Winters. Abby represents everything that is good about Genoa City, the literal merger of its two great families and the hope for reconciliation. Victor Newman has a trail of women in his past, including his current wife, Nikki Newman. But Nikki is at the top of her game, a new CEO looking to make her mark. She will be busy for the foreseeable future as she seeks to cement her legacy. Meanwhile, Victor will be free to do as he pleases, and we know what a legendary cat he is. By and our spoilers, Victor Newman is the man. Victor and Ashley are bonded through life via Abby. Victor also have kids, but they are Newmans through and through. Abby represents so much more. Abby is now starting a new chapter with Devin Winters and their son, so why shouldn't her parents follow suit? We see nothing but turmoil in Victor's future. Victor will continue trying to ruin Jack Abbott, which will infuriate Nikki. Speaking of the Newman-Abbott feud, Ashley and Abby are the perfect antidotes. How could Victor justify ruining the Abbott family when his daughter and her mom are a part of the hierarchy? He can't. Tell us why, and our fans, are you ready to see a new team of faces bring the angst to GC? The addition of mysterious character Damien to the canvas has the potential to do that. Are you on board with Victor and Ashley rekindling their flame, mellowing out, and watching as a new power broker shakes up GC? The Young and the Restless spoilers and updates reveal Victor Newman might be preparing for a significant sacrifice. With Jordan and Ian Ward still at large, Genoa City is certainly facing even greater peril. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Victor Newman may put his own life at risk. There are strong indications that Victor is poised to make a significant sacrifice for the Newman family, potentially even risking his own life. In the episode aired on December 27, Y&R provided a dark clue regarding Victor's future. During a conversation with Claire Newman, Cole Howard expressed his admiration for Victor's fierce protection of his loved ones. He emphasized that he wasn't being overly dramatic. Rather, he genuinely felt that Victor would go to any lengths, even sacrificing himself, for any member of the family if the situation demanded it. Eric Braeden has consistently dismissed any rumors about his retirement being on the horizon. The recent addition of the revamped ranch, set for Victor and Nikki Newman, suggests that the show has exciting plans for the duo. While there's no indication that Victor is truly facing his end, Cole's comments highlight Victor's readiness to confront such challenges. This could mean that the series is gearing up for a tense near-death scenario for Victor. As he strives to shield his loved ones from threats posed by Jordan and Ian, the stakes are bound to rise dramatically. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Victor Newman could be seriously injured. In a dramatic turn of events, Victor could find himself gravely injured and admitted to the hospital. In a selfless act, he might attempt to sacrifice his own life to save Claire or any other member of the Newman family in danger. This scenario could validate Cole's earlier assertion, as Victor comes perilously close to death while defending those he cherishes. If the storyline unfolds this way, we might witness the Newmans uniting around Victor's bedside during his coma, showcasing their unwavering support. Ultimately, Victor could be on the brink of losing his life in his quest to safeguard the Newman legacy. My and our spoilers. Could Cole be the one to die? It appears that if a character is truly going to meet their demise, Cole is the most likely candidate. His expressed admiration for Victor and his claim of sharing the same level of dedication suggest he might be the one to face the ultimate sacrifice. Meanwhile, the Young and the Restless has hinted at potential danger for Victor, especially with his comments about being willing to die for his family. This dialogue could serve as a foreshadowing of intense moments to come, so keep an eye out for any further unsettling developments. Spoilers indicate that Jordan and Ian will be putting lives at risk in one way or another. As the year draws to a close, The Young and the Restless shows no signs of letting down the heat on Newman family dynamics. Fractured relationships, power struggles, and looming threats from old adversaries continue to persist. With Victor Newman holding his cards close to his chest and Nikki Newman trying to balance her new leadership role, the Newmans are facing yet another storm on the horizon. But there are other familiar foes still lurking in the shadows. Jordan and Ian Ward, for instance, waiting for the perfect time to make their moves. It looks like this is one of the Newman family's toughest years so far, with all the lingering secrets and rising tension. Shifting alliances and renewed rivalries create the highest stakes for Genoa City's most influential family. Victor Newman is no stranger to keeping his cards close to his chest, but his secretive plans always come with consequences. Keeping critical details hidden from those closest to him, Victor believes that secrecy is the best way to safeguard his empire. However, this has backfired in the past, causing fractures within his family and leaving them vulnerable to attacks from his enemies. As he currently keeps his strategies under wraps, suspicions are rising in Genoa City, which could be detrimental to the Newman Empire. Nikki Newman, while being extremely devoted to her husband, senses that something is not right. Being busy with her new position at Chancellor Enterprises has made it difficult for her to sit down and talk to Victor. But her uneasiness does indicate that she can no longer ignore the warning signs. If Victor's plan is to come undone, then it may trigger a ripple effect with disastrous consequences for the whole Newman family. More tensions rise from this point, since Jack Abbott and Diane Jenkins Abbott keenly monitor every step taken by Victor. The external adversaries are sure to identify some lacuna in his planning to undermine Victor's plot, potentially exacerbating the long-standing rivalry between him and Victor, a trend now developing for so long in history. Nikki Newman has been the rock of her family for years, consistently showing that she is a survivor on The Young and the Restless. But her duties are tougher than ever, with her position at Chancellor Enterprises and her growing relationship with Claire Newman. As the threats against the Newmans escalate, Nikki may struggle to juggle her responsibilities at work with the need to protect her family on The Young and the Restless. Among her most powerful adversaries is Jordan, who still has a looming presence in her life. Their previous encounters have been full of manipulation and danger, and it seems inevitable that Nikki will again have to face Jordan head-on. But this time, the stakes are higher, and the consequences may be more devastating than ever. Despite the challenges she faces, Nikki has risen to protect her family when all seems lost. But with mounting responsibilities and relentless enemies, Nikki's resilience will be tested like never before. As the Newman family faces yet another storm, Nikki's actions could ultimately determine whether they emerge victorious or crumble under pressure. Phyllis walks in on Jack and Diane kissing as she adjusts his tie. They ask her if Elaine will be attending tonight, and she explains he's been trapped by a blizzard. It looks like they will miss their first Christmas and New Year's together. Jack and Diane insist that she join them for the evening. Kyle is upstairs looking after ailing Harrison. They can share the night as a family and have champagne. Tracy can't turn that down. Claire stops by Crimson Lights and chats with Esther about how exciting her new life is. She can't wait to see what 2025 will bring. Disguised Jordan watches them from the patio. She listens as Esther tells Claire that she and her gentleman friend will be partying like it's 1999. Ian sends Jordan a text saying that it's time for action at society. She slips out. At the Newman Ranch, Nikki rests her head on Victor's shoulder. They muse on what a year it has been for them. She's been thinking about all their blessings, like finding Claire, Connor recovering, and Cole and Victoria reuniting. "Don't forget about us, my baby," he says. She could never forget. They kiss. He adds there is one cloud hanging over them. This mess around Sharon and Nick being drawn into it. His only New Year's resolution is to see that resolved. Claire arrives at the ranch and hugs her grandparents. She explains that her parents have gone away for a romantic night for two. As Victor pours them champagne, Claire tells him how surprised she was that he made her dad a job offer. Victor thinks Cole is more than qualified. They are surprised she's there rather than with Kyle. She wanted to spend her first New Year's as a Newman with her family. They toast to the new year being the best for the family. At Sharon'S, Maria is surprised when Faith explains she's not going to any of the New Year's parties she was invited to. Sharon hopes that her daughters are not missing out because of her. She announces that she will be spending the evening at society to ring in the new year with them. Mariah asks if she's sure, but her mom insists she's ready to face the world again and put a terrible year behind them. Christine walks into the Neil Winters Jazz Lounge where Michael and Lauren are happy to welcome her. She explains that Danny is snowbound and couldn't make it while Nina is absent and still fuming about Chance returning to the police department. They insist she join them. She says they are the best she can imagine if she can't spend the night with the love of her life. The mood sinks when they spot Phyllis arriving with her children on her arms. Jack, Diane, and Tracy join the party, and Lauren jokes about how the years are passing more quickly the older you get. They chat about their families and where the kids have been spending the holidays. Ashley is already back in Paris. Christine notes that Phyllis is glaring at them. She knows that Phyllis hates her, but why is she giving Michael and Lauren the evil eye? Michael explains it's about Sharon'S case. He hates them being on the outs, but won't let it bother him tonight. Last year, on this night, he renewed his wedding vows, and he's determined to stay festive. Phyllis remains glaring. Her son decides they could all use a drink and tells her she's been staring for 10 minutes. She's having a difficult time and can't understand Michael celebrating with his friends while supporting a murderer. Her daughter urges her to ignore this and have some fun. Phyllis declares this will be off her radar for the evening. When Phyllis wanders off, Jack and Diane approach Daniel to check in. He admits he's taking things a day at a time. Jack assures him that he will be there if he ever needs to talk. Summer asks after Harrison, and it sounds like he has the same bug that Lucy does. Jack is sure that Heather would want them approaching the new year, not looking backward. At a table, Michael informs Christine that Sharon has hit the motherlode of repressed memories thanks to hypnosis. She still hasn't identified the real killer. Christine says that's the important part. Michael is sure that she's innocent and they will prove it. When he explains the case has been reopened, Phyllis suddenly appears and accuses him of peddling snake oil. She's trying to bite her tongue, but she's sure this new investigation will blow up in their faces. She taunts Cricket, asking if Danny got wise and dumped her. Christine tells her they are doing just fine. Phyllis suggests he's hunkered down with some groupie. Lauren urges Phyllis to be cool and enjoy the party. Phyllis' children interrupt to lead her away. On the way to their table, Phyllis is sure to snub Diane while she wishes Jack and Tracy a happy new year. Once Phyllis sits with her children, they take a drink. Daniel admits he's not doing well and can't help but think of Heather. Their mom says she won't talk about all this. Taking her children's hands, she promises this will be a better year for all of them. Her son appreciates the good vibes. At the bar, Danny surprises Christine. She can't believe it. They kiss. Phyllis glares and grimaces at them. Daniel walks over to hug his father. Danny was determined to get there for him. His son thanks him for taking care of Lucy. They joke about how bossy she is, and Daniel admits it's hard to hold up. Whenever he thinks he can move on, something comes along to complicate it. Jack, Diane, and Tracy come over to welcome Danny, who reminds them all of Tracy's singing career. He asks how things are progressing with Alan and tells her how much she deserves happiness. Phyllis can hardly handle all of this and leaps up. Summer begs her not to do anything. Her mom assures her she won't embarrass her and walks away. Daniel joins his sister and asks if she is expecting Chance to pop up for midnight. She explains he's working the graveyard shift. Things aren't back on track, but they are better. Her brother says she'll be stuck kissing him at midnight. At society, Abby tells Tessa what a natural she is at her job. She's a godsend, and she can't believe it's been a year already. She goes on about the joys of marriage, and Tessa remarks on how grateful she is for her life with Mariah and Aria. Abby admires the way they have been coping with the Sharon situation. Tessa says there is finally hope, and she's hanging on to that, hoping the next year will be uneventful. Ian peers in the window at them. Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates. Your opinions matter, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.